Hello, I'm checking the sound. There's a lag with my phone. Seems okay. Okay. So it's been a while since the last time, and yeah. So since I'm extremely busy recently, I'm not able to do the live streaming regularly, but yeah. Hmm. But I will manage to do time to time. So okay. What's this? I'm checking the screen. Seems fine. No, not 10 seconds. Okay, so let's start. So today I will not fix the strategy. I will play as I want. I don't remember the last time I played. I will just play like, as always. Very stupid opponent, but uh, but I need to be careful. This kind of crazy attack sometimes succeeds. So I will play the horse to here next. I think it's fine. So the order was incorrect, and now it seems that I'm clearly good. Hmm. Almost nothing to worry about already, mm, but I hate this kind of people. And he's sure using the Kishin now, but I shouldn't lose this game. Mm, So too many good options, but mm, yeah, I'm now thinking the very straightforward way to win, but it's a little risky. So I'm still thinking. There's also a safer way, but it's a little slow. So I'm still thinking, but maybe the safer way is better in this case. Hmm. The kitchen speed is really, really annoying. I'm not seeing the clear winning way yet. Hmm. Maybe the position is becoming a little more complicated than few moves before. Really annoying. Hmm. Really annoying, and yeah. Mm. So I have nothing to say about this game. It just shows how strong the Kishin is, and from a better position, if all the moves are played by Kishin, it's impossible for me to win. It's not enough advantage to win against the engine. Mm. It's okay if the opponent plays Kishin with Kishin partly, but yeah, that game it was from maybe the first 10 to 20 moves he played himself, and after that until the end it was all Kishin moves. So if I play against Kishin, plus 1,000 point isn't enough to win. So so really annoying. Ah, sorry, I wanted to promote. This is a natural bishop exchange game, will bishop game, and yeah, I just play naturally, and I think the pawn push is a little dangerous for the opponent. Uh, mm, since he didn't push this pawn, I will push this pawn now. It will make a great difference in the middle game if it's a slow game. If he pushes the pawn now, there are several options for me. Just taking it and redrop again is surely safe, but mm, it seems still possible to do something else. So, like the rook to three, 3-8. I'm not sure if I'm center or gote, so 7-2 or 3-8. I think he's thinking about pushing this pawn now, and yeah, he didn't do that, so it will be a slow game. And the shape that I want to play is pushing the pawn here to 6-6, go up the silver and go up the gold and the double rook. Uh, so the opponent should do something before I create that position. So he needs to start the attack somehow. Maybe he will drop a bishop here later, or switch the silver's position to here. This is also possible. And it the problem for me is that it takes time until I create the silver here, the gold up, knight jump, the other knight jump, and the rook to 9, and to the second or eighth file to target the king. But it takes a lot of moves, and this is not a good move here because it will lose one move. So since it will take many moves, the idea of doing something first is correct. Mm, but the order wasn't really good. Even without this move, I wanted to just go up to silver. So yeah, it's like I got one more move. Maybe he should just take the bishop. This move seems very dangerous. Mm, there's a bishop drop here, which usually does not happen. It's severe. The rook straight up to here, maybe. I promote the bishop and the silver goes back. This is I think the best way for the opponent, but I will promote the bishop to a 4-2 in this position. So he just needed to take the bishop, exchange the bishop, and just go up the silver. So this is why I pushed the pawn very early in this game. The pawn push is natural, but the gold here isn't a good shape. So even if it's too early, to punish this move is very difficult for the opponent. And yeah, the horse to 4-1 next is severe, and if he pushes the pawn, still there's a horse there. And if he drops a pawn here, I can take it. Or just a horse to here. Two options are possible. I'm still thinking which is better. Maybe the horse is better. If he drops a pawn here, I can take with the silver and bring the bishop, the horse here. Um, just the horse, and I think this is even more severe. A little scary this pawn push, but maybe just taking with the silver was slightly better. I thought this position isn't really bad, but a little too risky. Mm. Mm. The go to 6-3. Maybe this horse wasn't a good move. But I would just go back then. And I think the opponent doesn't have enough piece to corner this king. But maybe yes. Maybe I was too greedy to play this horse here. Maybe just taking the pawn with the silver was uh, simple enough. Yeah, I thought a different line, and I thought I'm better, but of course he took the silver instead of saving this rook. So yeah, but this position is good for me still. I can just go back to the horse or just take it and continue the attack, and it seems like this is stronger. Next, I will drop a bishop here or just use the rook to the attack. Both are possible. They're very known the bishop here and sacrificing the rook, but the gold could go back. So, sorry, uh, change the screen setting. Seems fine. So I just played naturally until here. Mm, this is possible, but a little risky. So this is a usual line, and if it takes it with a silver, then I can drop a pawn here. I don't know if I drop directly the bishop here. This is possible, but or just wait several moves, or just jump the knight or something. And yeah, the bishop here is also possible. So this shape isn't good for the opponent. So if he does, sorry, this line, he needs to drop a bishop here and take with a knight. But now I can drop a bishop here or push the pawn here. There are several options for me, so it's risky for the opponent. So he just played safely. And the usual attack is this, the pawn push to here. But if the Hoodie Bishop plays this attack, usually the gold is still here. So if I move the rook here is possible. The rook here or just a silver goes back, and next there will be a bishop drop here. It works this way, but since the gold is already here, this could work. I wasn't sure, but if the rook comes here, there will be the bishop drop, which is heavier. It can promote to 8-7. The silver can't go back, and the usual way is the pawn drop here and the bishop drop here. This is possible, but after I move up the rook, maybe this position is also good for me. So maybe, since he couldn't push the pawn, the slow game continued, and it was better for the opponent to play just this way and trying to switch to the phosphor rook later. Maybe it was better. And this was risky, and yeah, this was clearly risky. And here, I wanted to play this position, and I could take one more silver with the horse position here. But it was too greedy. I just needed to play this and take the pawn and take the gold. And this was enough. Next, I can drop a pawn here. If he does something like this, the horse will come up again to attack this rook. This was too clear, but the actual game was a little risky. But still, I think still I was slightly better. So it was more scary if he played this way. The silver here or the gold here. But still, this horse is also severe, so maybe I'm still good. But it was a more difficult game, I think. Yeah. So next game. Today I will play anything. I don't fix the opening. So yeah, this is also not a really easy game. The timing to push the pawn here is very important. I think I will play. Uh, yeah. In this case, I would like to play Anaguma, but he jumped the knight, so I would change the way. If it's not a misclick, I don't know what he wants to play. No reason to play this. Maybe it was a misclick. I think he just wanted to jump, go up the bishop, or so I wanted to play Anaguma, but since the knight is jumped, I think I don't need to play that. And maybe he will bring the still equal. The position is equal, and he wants to bring the silver to here, and the bishop goes back to 3-1. I can't really punish that idea, so mm, maybe I should just play calmly, just naturally. This is just safe. The shape is a little weird, but I can't say yet it's a really a bad shape. So if I push the pawn, always the rook comes here. Maybe, and I take the pawn and the silver takes. And if I don't have any good attack from that position, it's not easy. So still a very difficult game. If he goes up the silver, I can exchange the pawn here. So now it's a timing. But he let me exchange the pawn, but he wants to push the pawn here. This makes sense. Since he didn't push the pawn, I think it's natural to play this way. This seems too passive. I don't know what he wants to do. This pawn exchange. Was a big advantage for me, and I would jump the knight and target this king, so the king here was also risky. But this move makes sense. And it's a little difficult for me what to do here. I want to take it, but the silver goes up after the exchange. Still playable, but the bishop's diagonal is a little scary, so I don't really want to play that position. What seems more natural for me is just bring the bishop here. Maybe the rook here was a little early, and yeah, maybe I gave the opponent the option to play this shape. So maybe I made a slight Slightly a mistake. But I thought this shape is better than just exchange the silver even if I get one pawn. This shape is strong. So, hmm. The rook here is always possible, and I need to think what to do here. The rook to here, the a6, and dropping the pawn is natural, but it's also a little risky. So dropping a pawn here seems better. And I see a Senichte line as well. So the rook here is natural. The rook comes here and I drop a pawn here. He pushes a pawn. I promote. The silver goes up. And it will be an exchange of the silver knight and the rook. So it's a little risky. And I see a Senichte line from here. Hmm. Yeah, maybe the rook to 7-6 was a little early. Yeah. The opponent is strong enough. It's a good game to show. And I think after the rook comes here, he will drop the pawn again, and I go back the rook. And if he goes back the rook to the same diagonal, same file, then I need to think again what to do. But I think the opponent is Sente, so I will accept this Senichi. I don't see any other better line. So if he goes back the rook here, I will accept the Senichi. I think. If not, it could be a slightly worse position. The rook here, and next he will push the pawn. This is annoying, and I don't clearly see a better way in that position. So it was better if I see something good here, but I don't see anything in this position. So maybe I need to just accept the Senichi, and surely the opponent will also accept it. So a little high level Senichi, but yeah, it started with a slight better position for me in the opening, mm, but the timing to push the pawn was good, and yeah, I think I made a mistake. The timing of bringing the rook back to here. Before that, I was clearly better, but if he goes back to silver, it will be a different game, but too risky. And he can do something here, something else here. Just bring the bishop to here or something. This is possible, and I would have time to jump the knight or do something like that. So it will be a different game. If he doesn't want to play the Senichi since the opponent is Sente, if he brings a rook here, I will just accept the Senichi. If he does something else, then no, I will not play the Senichi. He changed the move. If he brings a rook again here, I think I will drop a pawn here. I'm just waiting. The live stream has interrupt. Oh, it's fine. Okay. There's a pawn here, maybe. Hmm. Yeah, it's a good opponent, strong opponent. He's playing very correctly. The gold up here. And now I need to sacrifice my bishop sometime. Hmm. I don't see any good move. So the position is clearly bad for me. I need to do something. Mm, I don't think it's really a good move. Mm. I'm making many mistakes. Just a pawn drop is the only hope, but mm, the pawn here is severe. Oh, this is also good. The opponent was really strong. Yeah, the opening was weird, very weird, but from the middle game, he was really good, and mm, yeah. So my mistake was the rook move was too early, and mm, Now it's almost impossible to win, but I will continue until the end. Mm,
2分。
mm. So it was a good game. Yeah. So the opening, maybe it could be a misclick, and this position isn't bad for me. And this pawn is too passive, so yeah. What I needed to do is just keep in the rook shape and go up the gold and jump the knight here and play this shape. So even here, I think he will push this pawn here. But yeah, this is what I want to play. What I wanted to play, but the order was incorrect in this game, and I played this first, and he pushed the pawn here. I wanted to take it, but now the opponent's castle is completed, and yeah, there's a clear weakness. He can put a pawn to here next, and this is also weak as a shape, so a little risky. So I didn't want to play this shape, and now the pawn was not a good shape, but now the silver can go up, so it became almost equal. So I tried to play Senichite, but he played differently. Mm, I should have been a little more patient, but yeah, but I didn't know what to do. The knight jump weakens my castle. Maybe the pawn to the center was the correct move here. Yeah, if I review the game now, the pawn to the center was correct, and seems like I'm still better. But yeah, what I wanted to play was the pawn drop here always, but the silver goes up and the pawn push, and it doesn't really work well. The rook will die. In this kind of case, if the pawn was already exchanged, I can play this kind of move later. So it's completely different. So yeah, now I see the correct move, the pawn push here. But during the game, I couldn't find this move. It seems good. So before the pawn push, the pawn to the center was correct, but a little difficult. And from here, the opponent played really well. Yeah, he blocked all my attacks. And since it was too late in this game, I should have sacrificed a bishop now. But still, this is too heavy, so I don't think it's better than the actual game. So from here, he just did play well. Okay, a strong opponent. So I think this is the first time I play Nakabisha today. So he'll play the direct Anaguma, I think, or still there are still many possibilities, but no, now it's clear that he will play the Anaguma, and there are several strategies, and what I prefer is the double Anaguma, but I always play that and I never lose that kind of game. So in this game, I will just play Mino. Hmm. It's almost over, but I still need to read it carefully. I see a clear line with the bishop here, but it could be a trap. The rook goes back. I sacrifice the bishop. The rook takes. I promote the pawn, but he can drop a pawn here and drop a bishop here. And I need to read until the end if I'm really winning with that move. And yeah, probably it works. But I need to. Taking with the gold is clearly a bad move. The gold here or the rook to here. Bring the rook and take this token is one option, but just playing aggressively seems enough. I don't think see anything scary. I don't know what he wants to do. But I still need to be very careful. One mistake could lead to the uh, losing position. So, hmm. Mm, I think the position is still not really simple. I still need to play very correctly until the end. The, the horse comes here. Sacrifice the rook and drop the knight here. The gold here is also possible. He can sacrifice the bishop. Seems like this is better. Promote the pawn here and drop the rook here. Hmm. The gold is very safe move, but a little slow. Hmm. Hmm. Today I feel like I'm not playing very correctly. I don't see any losing position yet, but take the rook and drop the bishop here twice. Or the go to here, and it wasn't this kind of close game. The token goes back, and then I will take the rook. Seems safer to bring the silver here. Now there's room to escape, so this is red mage, which is impossible, almost impossible to defend. So mm, I somehow won this game, but it's not a good end game. Too many mistakes. I should have won this game much easier, much easily. A silver draw time. Yeah. So this is called Imaizumi system. And yeah, I think he doesn't have many experience in this case, so the rook is clearly dangerous move. The strong point of this strategy is that the bishop can go to 5-5 or 9-5. You can choose, and now it was clearly dangerous. And what I was reading is the pawn here and the bishop drop here. If I take the rook, the bishop promotes, and it's still not clear yet enough, so I wanted to play this way. If he takes with the knight, still I will drop a bishop here, and the silver can also join for the attack to this castle. So I thought this position is also good for me, but I needed to be careful because of that. From here it was easy, but after this horse promotion, maybe I did make a mistake. Just taking the knight was good. The horse doesn't work for the defense, so mm, it's similar to the actual game. If I drop something silver or something here, maybe it was better. But it's a little scary, my castle, so yeah. It was natural to do this, but Yeah, there are many bishops that the bishop dropped like 5-4 or somewhere else. So after dropping, I didn't really want to play this move, but next the horse will come here or the bishop drop. Something happened. And to attack this king, I didn't find anything really fast, so it's a little heavy, I know, but I chose this line. But this position, I found this move, so I think the position was still good for me. It didn't reverse after all, but I didn't know clearly what to do in this position. Maybe the rook wasn't really a bad move. If I found a better way to attack the king, it was better. But maybe the knight drop or something. I didn't see this knight drop, and I thought this gold is a little too heavy. Mm, this could be possible, but or like this, it's a little heavy. I thought. And if I do this, then the opponent can sacrifice the horse like this game. So I thought this is a little annoying. So yeah, I didn't find a very clear way here. So I just played slowly with the knight, but it was also risky. So maybe the knight drop to 1-5 was a better option, but it was a little difficult. So I didn't make a clear mistake, but maybe it was more difficult than I thought. Mm, a slightly risky move. I can push the pawn now, but I will not play that. I will show the simple rapid attack. This is also a little risky for the opponent, but since my gold is here, not really easy to punish it. So even in this, the pawn push here was also possible, but I will just play naturally, like as usual. So this is kind of Joseki. The pawn drop here, maybe. I don't know what he wants to do from here. The pawn push is natural, but without the pawn drop here, it's still too early. I think nothing happens in this position. So uh, it's a similar position that with the very common Joseki, but slightly different, and that difference is really important. So this position is better for me. Not really a very big advantage yet, but slightly better. But But it's important what to do now. There's no clear aim from the opponent next, so I can play a waiting move if I have an effective move. If I drop a pawn here, he can drop a pawn here, so I couldn't do that. Next, I will jump the knight. This bishop is preventing the opponent's bishop to promote here, and it also targets the edge as well. So if he goes up the silver, then next my silver will be taken. So I need to save my silver somehow. Just place the pawn and go back, or drop the pawn in the 5-5 square and go back to 5-6 or something. So maybe uh, going up the silver could be possible. And he went up the silver now. A really risky move since I think I have a good counter attack. I can just take it and bring the silver somewhere else. Uh, but in this case, I don't know what he will do against this move. I think it's a little risky for the opponent. He will lose the pieces. The rook to 4-3 is the only possible move, but I can take the lance first and I can drop the lance next to here, so it's severe. He would just promote the bishop, I think, but my lance drop is stronger. With the horse is important. If not, my rook was dangerous. Just defending safely is enough. I can also take it. I can promote the rook, but I don't need to do that. He doesn't have a knight drop here, and he wants to get it here, but I don't let him take it. He just wanted to drop the knight here, but it seems like my attack is faster. This is just a kind of, sorry, a Joseki position here, and the correct Joseki is dropping a pawn here. Mm. And it continues like this. I don't explain the details. Please just watch the video if you are interested. So this is a kind of Joseki, and if I take with a silver, the pawn can promote here. If I take with the rook, the bishop exchange, and there will be fork like this, and this is a Joseki. So he made um, a mistake. And this seems scary, but yeah, this counterattack was severe, and now it's a clearly good position. This bishop promotion is also severe to try to capture the rook next, but this lance was faster. So okay, after this position, nothing happened. Hmm. Okay, so just a quick promotion of the tournament in London. The Intercity Shogi Cup will be held in London in May 9 to May 10. I'm attaching the link in the description, eoscc.com, and you can register from here. And the concept is that there are five. I'm planning five. No. Hmm? Oh, sorry. This is the old uh, version. Mm. This is a correct one. There are five classes, and there's prize for each class winner, and the winners of each until the third place of each class will play the final tournament and uh, fight for the championship. And yeah, and this year for the winners of the first place of each class can get uh, folding fan of Itodani Sensei. This is not a printed one. He directly signed on this fan, and there are six, so you can get this one. And he's a challenger of the Meijin Sen this year, so this is very valuable. He will challenge Fuji. He's one of the yeah mm, best professional now. Itodani Sensei, so he will challenge us champion Fuji mm, from April. So. So he can't come to the tournament, but yeah, he kindly gave us this folding fan as a prize of each class. So yeah, if you don't have any plan yet on this date, on May 9th and 10th in London, yeah, I'll be happy if you can join. Okay, so just it was just a quick promotion, and I will go back to the game. 'Few more games today. ご機嫌中飛車. I hope I can play against Chosoku, but no. Now I can also play. So I thought it was the the slow game, but he played the rapid attack, so it's a different game. I don't know what the opponent wants to do in this game. Hmm. Now I really want to attack here. I can also play slowly and create the Ginkamuri or something, but uh, yeah, it seems like there is a weakness on the opponent camp, so I just want to play aggressively. If the silver wasn't here, I would not play this way, but I don't know why he can play so rapidly, since it's really a risky position for the opponent. Really, really dangerous position. If he promotes a pawn, I can drop a pawn here. The pawn drop could be one option, but it's one move late. If he wants to drop a pawn here now, he should have done this one move earlier, and now this pawn is very severe. Maybe he didn't see this bishop drop, and it's almost over. Maybe he drops a pawn here. Just promoting the bishop is enough. Now I just need to play slowly, carefully until the end. The pawn drop or the gold here. He will drop a pawn maybe. But the knight seems faster, so I think it's not so much a difficult position. The pawn drop, I don't see a clear meaning of that pawn drop, but the bishop drop here or something else. Next, I will drop a gold here. So yeah, it's me here. The king goes up, the bishop promotes, and just like this, the king goes here, the silver drop, and sorry, the silver again here, and it's to me. So so this shape, I never recommend for you to play this shape, the silver here in 4-7. It's a passive shape and really difficult to play. And the problem is that so I prepared for the edge attack. Now it's a little risky for the opponent to play this. This kind of bogging idea, but I can protect like this way, for example. Maybe it's a little too early to do this, so you want it to attack from the center, but um, maybe just a pawn drop was better for the opponent. And I wasn't sure if it really works this attack, but uh, I thought it's also scary for the opponent. Now just sacrifice and drop a pawn. My king is not really safe, but it's also very scary. If the silver wasn't here, and if it was here or something, I would never do this attack. But since it doesn't work for the defense, maybe it could work this kind of attack. For example, I'm not sure, but I just wanted to play this. If I had time, I will think more carefully. But yeah, with this time control, I thought it's enough this attack. And it was yeah, and he didn't see this move. If the rook goes back here, then the bishop drop is strong. If the rook goes back here, then this token is fast. Yeah, so here already I'm clearly better, and after the knight exchange he didn't see this move. And from here it's a little difficult, but yeah, I just try to play carefully, slowly. If the rook promotes, maybe I will drop a silver here, or the knight drop here, or anyway, I will just attack the generals near the king. This could even work. I think this is red mate with many pieces in hand, so I think this position is also good for me. Yeah, so it wasn't really a difficult game. Ah, sorry, hmm? ah sorry, I always didn't switch the screen. I think this is the correct one. Maybe I played with this. And I didn't read a comment until now. So thank you for watching. I don't know why, but it wasn't showing on my phone. But so I now first uh, saw the comment. Mm. Sorry, it's too many Nakabisha game. I will play other strategies as well, like Shikenbisha or Sangenbisha next. So I just showed my Mino idea, so I will show the Anaguma shape, the which is my favorite strategy. I press the pawn now. I'm doing this for a long time, but very few people play correctly. This is one measure countermeasure. So yeah, the opponent knows well what to do against this strategy. Hmm. If he takes the pawn here, I will push the pawn here. It could be a rook exchange, but I can take more small pieces compared to the opponent. So he can take the knight, but he can't take the lance. So I think I have an advantage. He can push the pawn and yeah, sacrifice here. So he can weaken my position, but still, I think I'm better. So I Anaguma game requires many special experience, so it's a little difficult to play. If I just take it, then he wanted to capture my bishop, so I dropped the knight to use my bishop. If the bishop goes back, then I'm not sure if I should take this pawn or just take the pawn with the bishop. Both could be possible. Now I will play this. Next, the last drop, or just a pawn drop here if it works. If he plays a weak move, I will just drop a pawn here. Yeah, I think this is a good move. If I move the gold somewhere, he would drop a pawn here. But I think still, my attack is a little faster. My idea is going to the edge, and this pawn is too dangerous since I can drop a lance here. Just take the gold seems enough. If he takes back, I can take the silver, so I can get more pieces. So now just redropping gold is good enough, but I want to do something else. Sacrifice the bishop and drop the gold. If I'm correct. So the knight works very well. If the gold is dropped, the rook can take this pawn. So mm, no, there's no defense. Yeah, it was easy this game. Yeah, so I don't really want to play the Nakabisha game like this because yeah, I'm a specialist of this strategy. So it's mm, it's too easy for me. Every position I already have experience. So mm. So yeah, I waited until he takes this pawn, and if he takes with the pawn, then the bishop to 5/5 works well. Still, this move could be possible, but not really a good shape. And after the rook exchange, it seems equal, but always I can take one more lance and he can't do this. So I'm in a better position. He pushed the pawn here. If I just take it, then the bishop works, blocks this pawn. So he wanted to capture my bishop. So this is why I drop the knight first. If the bishop goes up, then I can take this pawn first. So yeah. And this was risky. It created a space to drop my lance here, so maybe the better way was dropping a pawn here or here, maybe here. Hmm. But I still thought I'm winning with this edge attack. It's okay if I lose my gold here. There are still one more gold, so uh, and it's very close to the threat mate already. So maybe there could be immediate mate, and if not, just this move is enough, and my attack is faster and it's unstoppable now. So yeah. Mm. So the Ayanaguma experience is really important, and the former Shoreikai player are everyone really good at Ayanaguma. We play many games in Shoreikai. If it's a game that we really don't want to lose, we tend to play a very strong castle. So in the Shoreikai game, there are many Ayanaguma players. So if we stay longer in Shoreikai, we get stronger in Ayanaguma game, and I'll play differently. It's okay if it. So just a Shiken Bisha now. I don't have any plan. I don't know what to play. The Mino or Anaguma. I don't know. Ah, you wanted to see the Nakabisha? It's a rare move here in this timing, at this timing. So uh, the idea is playing the Millennium shape, or uh, he can also play Anaguma from here, but it's a little rare this timing. We don't often see playing this shape. In the Fuji system game, it's usually played, but in this case, not really a good idea. The castle is weak. He needs to push the pawn, go up the gold, jump the knight, and create a stronger castle. If not, it's just a weaker castle, much weaker than Anaguma. Maybe a Ginkamuri from here. I will go up the silver and attack the bishop's head. I think it's a very difficult position already for the opponent. He tries to jump the knight. And if I remember correctly, against the knight's jump, the bishop to 2-2 was a good move, I think. We will see why. And if he doesn't jump the knight, I can just attack from the fifth file, so I think he will jump the knight, but this is also possible to prepare against the attack from this side. I want to play the bishop to 2-2 now, but I don't know what to play against the pawn exchange. I can attack the bishop's head. No, knight's head, maybe. I'm not sure if this is correct, but if he jumps the knight, I can attack the knight's head, so it's a little risky. So he needs to push the pawn here, and after exchange the pawn drop here could work as well. So yeah, the pawn drop here could work. So it's different from Anaguma shape. Sometimes the pawn push here, I take it, the silver takes, then I drop a pawn, and sometimes the silver can take the pawn, and I take back with the silver, and he drops twice the pawn here. But now it's different. It's the Tetsuji which works with Anaguma, but now it's impossible. The king is too close, and yeah, I will explain later. So it's slightly different from the position that I know. Pushes the pawn. I takes with the silver. I push the pawn here to attack the knight's head. Maybe it's a good order. And I think he can't jump the knight here. It's risky. It could still work, but I think it's too risky. Knight jump, pawn push, and the rook here, and the rook here. Still possible. If I go up the silver, he can jump the knight. It's still possible. So maybe the pawn push first, and going up the bishop to the edge could be a correct order. So anyway, I don't think he will play the knight jump here. Maybe he will just push the pawn here. But after that, I can just push the pawn. I can also protect the bishop's head somehow, but if the bishop goes back, I can too early to resign. Uh, Too much early. Usually, if the bishop comes here, the idea is pushing the pawn here, on back the bishop, and creating this kind of millennium shape, or just like this, and going for this kind of shape and protecting the rook bishop's head with something like this. But I will do this, and next I will go back to bishop. So I think it's a little difficult. Usually, it's this shape is played with this kind of for example, with this kind of Fuji system shape, and it's usually a little risky to go up the gold because the rapid attack the king is too weak. So we go up the silver, and with the silver position here, it takes several more moves to finish the castle, so he has time to create Millennium or Anaguma. So this is the usual way, but I can just got the code now. The king is already here, so the rapid attack isn't so scary. So, mm. And in this case, it's not Kimuramino, it's just a good shape. It's Takamino. Maybe it's just a pawn push was also good, but what I wanted to do was with the bishop here, when the knight jumps, sorry, this is a test strategy. We push the pawn and the rook to here or the bishop to here. My attack is one move faster, like this. So it's risky to jump the knight. And if we exchange the pawn here, if it was Anaguma, then he can take it and drop twice the pawn here. This kind of attack could work. Of course, it's this kind of shape. But since it's not Anaguma and the king is here, my bishop's diagonal is open. So against this attack, I can just take it. If the bishop takes, then I can save this silver. If the rook comes here, not to here, I can sacrifice to here and take the rook. So it doesn't work. So just the pawn exchange works. Or I wanted to play like this. It's okay if my silver goes back. I can attack the knight's head next. If the silver protects, I will create just this shape first. And later, if I get one something to drop here, it's clearly a good position. So it's very easy for me. Just fortify the castle, bring the silver here, and jump the knight or something like this. So anyway, I thought this is slightly a good position, and after this he couldn't find any good attack. If he drops a pawn, just like Bogin, I can attack and exchange the silver this way. And if he goes back the bishop here, before protecting this pawn, I can drop a pawn first. If the silver goes back again, just this attack is fast. If the silver goes back to here, I will just go up the bishop. Mm. And this shape is good. It was still possible to play this here, but even in this shape, this vanguard pawn are too strong, and I can still attack the knight's head or chase the bishop first and attack from the sixth file. So this is slightly a bad shape, but still, this piece is very active, so this position is also good. So he resigned early, but the position was better for me. I just go to the restroom, so please wait for a while. Okay, so let's continue. What if the opponent played knight to 7 3 before moving to rook to 6 2? I think I would have played the same thing. The same thing. If the knight was jumped now, I would probably push the pawn here and bring the bishop to the edge or the rook to here. Maybe the bishop seems better. Okay, so next game. I don't know how many games I played today, but the second opponent was good. The middle game, especially. It's very likely that he could be one of the Shoreikai Q player. If I see his opening, not really good, but the middle end game was strong, so doing something else. I don't know what you want to see, but as Gote, it's not really easy to play the third Farouk, but yeah, the sixth dan player, the second game was Q level player, not dan level. In Shoreikai, the dan level Shoreikai players are much better in the opening, so I don't really know the Sesanaguma, but this is a Sugai system. I don't really know the correct order, but now it seems that this move is better than just going up the silver here. So now it's really difficult if I should go up the silver first or just go back the bishop. Mm, to the to this square was also possible. And again, now there are several possibilities. So the rook to any square is possible. The here or here or here. I can't think too long, but I'm not sure if I can push this pawn. The bishop will come here. So maybe I should wait for a while. Now I'm realizing that this uh, shape is not easy without a deep study. We wanted to go back to silver and attack like Bogin, so I prevented that idea. Push this pawn, I push this pawn, the silver goes back. And this is still possible. I want to go up the bishop, but I can't exchange the rook yet, so maybe the pawn push was a little early. If I go back to silver, the pawn push is annoying. The pawn to 5-5 is always a threat for me. Mm, I thought this position isn't really bad for me, but it's a little difficult what to do here. Mm, I I didn't want to let him push the pawn here, so this is why I played this move. But I'm not sure if this is a good move. A good idea to push the pawn after this pawn push. The position is getting difficult for me. A good player. The silver goes up and I will go back the silver in that case. I don't think it's really a good move to push the pawn here. His idea is bringing the bishop here. If I go up the silver, he will sacrifice and drop the silver in front of my rook. I know it, but mm, it doesn't seem so scary in this position. So maybe I can do something. Take this pawn, put the pawn here. I bring the rook somewhere, and yeah, the knight jump. Maybe this is, yeah, just take the pawn and push the pawn here is scary. The rook here, the silver comes here. I need to take it, but too early. The pawn drop is scary, but I can do something. If the bishop takes, I will sacrifice the silver here. The position is bad for me, so I need to use techniques to somehow reverse the position. Take the silver and go back the silver is correct, I think. I don't know the meaning of this move. If the bishop goes here, Oh, this is also a good idea. A strong player. I want to promote the pawn, but it's clearly a losing position. So the pawn drop here and the rook comes here. My attack seems always slow, so it's hard to win this game. But yeah, from the silver to 5-5, the opponent played really well. I thought after the rook came here and pushed the pawn here, it was easy, but this is even better. Pawn push and go up the silver to somewhere and promote. But just a pawn drop here was also good, so it's difficult whether this was a really correct move. I'll go up to here or here. It became slightly more difficult than few moves before. The rook to here or here. Pawn promotes. I sacrifice the bishop and drop a silver here. But the bishop drop is too strong. Hmm. I don't have any possible way, so it's clearly losing. So the opponent did very well. Just taking all is enough. Now I have a bishop drop here. But not. Mm, mm, it's better to resign and play more games. Mm, the opponent did really well in this game. Clearly better than me in this game. So lack of experience was the main reason I lost. So I didn't know what to do here already. I thought this isn't really a bad position, but I was wrong. I wanted to play this, but the rook comes here. The rook exchange, my shape is weak, so I need to drop a pawn here. But then this pawn exchange is really important, and it benefits the opponent. If he has a pawn in hand, mm, then for example he can use that pawn here if I move the silver back. Mm, and if I do this kind of shape later, it's his pawn. He can drop a pawn, for example, somewhere like this later. So in Ayanagma game, if the pawn was exchanged, it's almost impossible to reverse that position. And for our level, this is almost over. I can say that it's already a losing position, not even close to equal. So I couldn't play this shape, so I tried to do something else, but this was also correct. I thought first that this move isn't really good, but I was wrong. This was also severe. Maybe I should have just taken it, but if I go up the silver, then he will sacrifice and drop a silver here. If I do nothing still, he will sacrifice a bishop and drop the silver somewhere. So the only move I can play is this, but this is too good shape for the opponent. So yeah. Mm, mm. So the opponent was good. I could do nothing. Mm. He always played correctly. Mm. A good five down player. Mm. As Sente, I can still play Sangenbisha an equal game to anyone, but yeah, as Gote, it's really difficult. So double ranging rook game. This is also my favorite, and it's almost over already. Maybe with the king here, could be the only not the only defense, but I think it's very hard to stop this attack. Next, there's a silver drop here. Already really scary. The pawn drop. The silver drop is also possible. Maybe the silver drop is better. If we drop, he needs to drop a silver here. Maybe this is a or here. I drop a pawn or. It's difficult what is the best, but it's close to the end already. You need to drop a silver here. Now it's over. So this is Sugaiyu, and maybe the opponent has never played this. The promoted silver to here is a safe option, but maybe there could be. stronger attack. The night drop is also good, but seems slightly heavy. It's important to stop and think carefully in this kind of position, and you can find a clear attack. I never play quickly in this kind of position if I think I'm better. Even if I find one good way, I will compare all other options and find the best way. I can use time in this kind of position. It could be the easiest way to win. A little heavy, but this is what I found at that position. Even here, but it doesn't make so much difference here. But just take or the promoted server here. It doesn't make so much difference. There were also other options, but the rook here, the dragon here. I think it's Hishi in this position. My king is still safe. So the silver drop, I take the silver, drop a silver here. Go, king goes up, gold drop, king goes up here, the rook here, and so there's no defense. Yeah, he will drop a silver and I escape to the edge, and I'm sure that I will not give one more time to attack. So seems a little scary, but not so many things to tell in this game, but so he shouldn't have taken this pawn, and the king here was correct. So the bishop is hanging, so the pawn drop is possible in this case, and it will be a long game. If the bishop takes this pawn, then the usual way is going up the gold here and bring the king here. So this gold will work to defend the knight, for example, like this. Still scary, but so usually we don't push this pawn too early. In this case, just the pawn. We use these two moves to here, and just like this, and it will be a long game. But it was a little risky, and maybe he didn't have so much experience with the strategy. Yeah, today I'm playing a lot. I forgot. If I remember correctly, I lost 3 games. I don't remember how many I won, but I will play Ibisha now. Oh, so I will just play the Knight 3/7 attack. I don't know if the opponent knows correctly the Joseki. If he does, he's good as Yodan because it's really difficult to remember correctly this kind of Joseki. The bishop drop here. This is not a Joseki move, so I think I can punish it somehow. So I remember that this is not a Joseki move, but it seems still it seems natural move. So there could be a clear reason that it doesn't work. So I drop a pawn. He drops a pawn here. This is what I'm worrying about. If I can create a token, maybe the position is better for me. If I go up the silver to here, he can place a pawn here. And it's a little uncomfortable for me. So pawn here, pawn drop. If the rook goes back, I don't think it's a correct order. I need to take it. So I'm not sure what to do this in this position. So it means that I don't know the Joseki well. So I've never seen this move, but it's really it's just too natural move to play this here. So it's my fault that I have never seen this move. But I can't find what is the best way. I just come up with this pawn drop, but after the pawn drop, I don't know why I've never thought about that. So the pawn drop was better, I think. If the rook goes back, still it's difficult what to do. I think this is not for me. Hmm. Hmm. But still almost equal, in my opinion, in this position. The reason is that there's no good space to drop the rook, I believe, and if the token is enough, I really want to play that. Take take with the token. Take the gold. No, I will take the gold first. I think this is fast. Uh, I wanted to take the silver first, but no, I think that my attack is slightly faster than the opponent's. There's no threat made to my king, and this is slightly slow. There could be a good move here. I have many pieces in hand. The first thing I come up with is a bishop drop, or there could already be a immediate mate. I think it's mate and not so difficult. Hmm, hmm, hmm. So I can also wait one more move to prevent a bishop drop later. But this was a Joseki, I think. I thought this was a Joseki until here, but I've never thought this move. If I take it, of course, the bishop promote, and I need to escape the silver once, so it's bad. If I go up the silver, he will push the pawn. This is also scary. I dropped the pawn here in this game, but I didn't know what to do if he dropped the pawn here. Go back the rook somewhere. He takes the silver. Seems better for the opponent. If I take, oh, I finally need to do something with the silver, and I think this is a bad position. The knight drop next is severe. So against the pawn drop, I finally didn't find anything good. But I didn't know what to do instead, so I just played this. I need to, yeah, I need to review this game later myself. I uh, I can solve the problem now. It's late in Japan time. It's 1 a.m. 1:50 a.m. Few more games. Tomorrow morning I have no plan, so yeah, just the Nakabisha. I can play everything, but my favorite is Nakabisha. And this is the strategy that we don't often see, and mm, but I think it's very difficult for the opponent to play this strategy. It requires very high level, so mm, I can already take this pawn. It doesn't seem bad for me. Just going back the rook is just a safe move. Mm, but if he went up the silver to this way, I would just uh, go back to rook. So maybe it's not a time to do something else. I thought this is enough. Since the king is here, I don't think this attack works so well. Bishop to 5 5 or 6 6. Bishop 5 5, pawn drop here. Glance, promotion, and last drop here. I really want to play that way. Bishop to 6 6 is a safer way. If the pawn is dropped, I just jump the knight and I'll play slowly. The bishop to the edge could also work. The rook here and push the pawn, and I go up the silver next. I think this position could be better for me, but the only possible move is pawn to 8 8. And now I can drop a pawn in front of the rook or do something else. Just take the lance, pawn promotion, drop a lance on there. Lance drop. Drop. I don't see anything from the opponent. The bishop here, maybe? If the bishop here is possible, the pawn drop here was a bad move. What I wanted to do now was the pawn push here, but I guess it's talking. The silver drop is heavy, so promote the pawn and drop the lance is what I wanted to do. But after the gold comes here, I need to sacrifice the rook and bring back the bishop and the horse. The knight drop here, not so clear. Hmm. If I just go back the horse here, the pawn drop wasn't necessary. So the lance drop, the bishop comes here, and if the lance promotes, then the pawn drop here is possible. Take the gold, take the rook, take the gold again, and take with something. Still possible, but a little risky. Pawn push, to king comes here. Promotion. Take with the gold. Last drop. Gold goes up.
5分
Maybe I made a mistake and I should have played. If I want to drop the lance, I should have just dropped the lance earlier. The knight drop is also possible here. This knight drop isn't so good. I can drop a silver here. Or the pawn push, king comes here. Uh, still difficult. The talking surely comes here. I wanted to bring back the bishop here, horse here as well, but the token will take the lance and I need to escape one more time. This is what I didn't want to play. If the rook promotes, then I go up the rook and it's safe, but... And here I need to think. Just a pawn push could be the fastest way, but seems still slow. Maybe it's more difficult than few moves before. I don't know what was my main mistake in the opening. And I'm not so sure if I'm really winning in this position, but maybe it's more difficult than a few moves before. But my king is not really safe. I need to be careful if there's an immediate mate or something. I think this move is heavier. But the knight drop is always scary, so it's a little early to do this now, but sometime later it's really scary. Knight drop I take, and bishop drop. I can't drop the knight here. Too scary. So I need to drop a gold here, but bishop takes and silver drop here or something. Still very, very dangerous. But the last drop doesn't work. I take the silver with the bishop, and I think there could be. No, just a gold drop here. So this is almost a hishi. So no defense for the opponent. So maybe he would drop something here and drop the bishop here. But since he doesn't have another knight, I drop a gold here and I'm winning, I think. But still very scary, so I need to be careful. Good end game. So now he is trying to do the checkmate directly on my king. So I think the gold drops, which seems. Oh, no. It's correct. But I don't know if there's checkmate on my king. The knight drop is really, really scary. Knight drop and bishop drop, silver drop, takes and drop a silver here and take the pawn with the lance. There could be the checkmate. This move isn't good. Now clearly there's no checkmate, so I'm clearly winning. The silver drop here was very scary, and probably I was losing at that position. I couldn't read correctly. Then I somehow reversed the position, but I was almost losing. Mm. So I could also take the side pawn, but so the correct order is going up the silver to this way. Mm. The pawn push was also an option, but I didn't think this is so much a good strategy. I dropped the pawn here, but the bishop to 5-5 was also possible. If he drops a pawn, it's an advantage. Maybe the bishop was better, I think. But I still thought that this position is clearly good for me. But I couldn't find anything good here. Just jump the knight, he promote the pawn. This is also not easy. Maybe I should have dropped the lance here now, or when the bishop back to here, he takes the lance and I go back the bishop. Maybe this could also be possible, but this pawn push is also a good move, so maybe not really good. So so I didn't find any really good option. Since the king is here, the gold is here, and the horse is here. If the horse could come back here, it's good. So I thought there's something, but I couldn't find anything. So maybe I made a mistake in the early middle game, and now it's clearly a losing position. The bishop here wasn't a good move. Just the rook promotion was enough. I think this position I was clearly losing. He played safely, escaping the king, but I could use the horse, so the position is became much closer. In the end game, I don't know. Maybe I was losing. This was a bad move, clearly. This was better, and he can take that pawn with the lance. I drop a pawn here. He takes it. The same if I escape or I take this lance. There's no immediate checkmate, but mm, there's a knight drop and a bishop drop next. Mm, it's very close. I don't know which one is winning in this position. Maybe he should have played this way. Mm, okay, so it will be the last game next today. But it was a good player from the middle game. will do different thing. I want to do different thing. So maybe Gangi or something that I don't really often play, but with this move here, this is a Sodebisha strategy. So the king was a little early. It's difficult, but so now it's not easy to save this bishop. With one more silver. Maybe the king here was better. The rook can sing over to the center. Just go drop and go in up here. Seems strong enough, and the gold drop here is also an option. The bishop comes here, I take the silver and drop the silver here. The knight jumps, I take the rook. You just need to drop the silver here, but already a bad position. I can just let him take this gold if I have a stronger attack. Doesn't seem the bishop is too strong here. King here seems good. It seems like the Kishin time has begun. Shori the Kishin, and the only thing matters is how long this continues. Finally, the Kishin in the last game. Too annoying. I don't know how the opponent protects. I'm doing a really strong attack, so maybe sometime during the game, the Kishin time has ended. I clearly felt that few moves before my attack was almost failing. Maybe it was careless to push his pawn. Just a king here was correct. Maybe not just a king to here was correct. So it was too easy position. So I was too careless. The silver going up here or the king here, the rook or something. I felt like from here the Kishin time has started because there are many options. The gold drop here, the silver drop like this game, the pawn drop here. There are too many options. So, and it doesn't seem that it's already over. So, and this move is too unnatural. And if this is a correct move, this could be Kishin. Every move was too fast. And here, the silver drop is also a natural move. So it could have stopped a little longer, but maybe this order was correct for me. Mm. And the silver sacrifice was also good. Mm. So I think I played correctly. But I felt like I was almost failing. So I didn't think I always played the correct way. Could Sente not take the lance? If he escaped here, I was thinking about dropping the bishop directly here. But it could be possible if there's something here, a good defense or a good counterattack. But maybe a little risky for the opponent. If he wants to play this way, it's more reasonable that he didn't drop the silver here and drop the pawn here. If he drops the pawn here, it makes sense to escape the king to this way. The pawn drop seems more natural. I don't know why he didn't do that. Mm, but too fast several moves. So some moves were too fast. The last game, it wasn't really a game that I wanted to play. Especially the end game was weird. The knight to 5-1 was also very fast, but I don't know what the meaning of that move. So today I didn't play so much the normal Ibisha games. Ibisha game. Yokofudori. I can take the pawn. It will be a very long game and very difficult game if I take this pawn, but mm, I think not really interesting. So I will play the Hineli Bisha, which I didn't show so much during this live stream. Hineli Bisha is a very difficult strategy for both, and if the opponent knows well how to play against this strategy, then I can't get a really big advantage. But it doesn't seem that he has experience. But let's see, the bishop going up here is an option. Pawn push is also possible, but a little risky. It's a little early. The king is still here. And the timing to bring the rook here is also important. I thought it's a little risky, but if I don't like this position before going up the king, I could also play this first. Maybe now he takes it and drop a pawn and jump the knight. The rook comes here. The king goes up. Maybe it's possible. This is just misclick. Maybe I should have moved a different move, but he could already resign. He goes up the gold, still equal, but one more game. This is just a misclick. I could also let him play one more move, but in Shogi Wars, it's not a good idea. And if I don't punish the misclick, he'll play differently, and I will rather be slightly bad. And I couldn't show that here Bishagi. What I should play? Nakabisha or Ibisha? 右試験。I will just show the natural 右試験 game. Next, I drop a pawn here, the knight takes, and I take the silver with the rook. If he pushes the pawn now, I drop a pawn here. So the pawn drop here is also scary, but this is a strong move. With the rook or with the bishop. Or just take with the knight. Everything is possible in this position. Taking with the knight and redropping the knight here is also an option, but I usually take with the rook this position, but I really need to read carefully. Bishop will not work. Rook is possible, but after the rook drop, uh, it was difficult. If the pawn wasn't dropped here, I would have played differently, but now the knight drop is scary. If he pushes the pawn, I take the silver and drop the silver in front of the rook. If he does nothing, I take the silver, of course, and drop here next. Oh. Bishop takes. I drop a pawn once here, or to take the knight or something. An important position for both. Taking with the gold is correct, and if he can play this, he's a good player. If he takes this knight with the gold, just gold up is also possible. If he takes with the knight, this knight with the gold, I need to somehow attack this rook, and take the rook with something and drop in the first rank. The gold up is also possible. The bishop is a little scary. It's a strong player.
7分
So I need to play really seriously. But now he can't use pawn drop once. No, he can't use the bishop, and this is a problem. If he promotes the pawn, then I will take the knight first. If you promote the knight, I just need to take everything. But a really scary position. Knight drop isn't so scary. I just take the knight with the silver. I can give him the gold. The knight promotion or pawn promotion. Pawn drop. Silver goes back. Then let's see if there's something. The king's position isn't really good, so it's also risky for the opponent. Just the knight drop here is also scary, but if I don't give him a gold or rook, drop or silver promotion. The knight drop, knight drop. This is also good. Hmm.
5分
The pawn drop was a bad move, but I didn't see any other options, so maybe the position was already bad. Just a semi-I is the only option. The pawn drop is a safe option, but I take the gold and drop the gold in front of the rook. I need to play a long game. Home promotion could be the correct move, but not really easy to play that. Take the gold or escape the rook seems natural, so if he can play the pawn promotion, he's really good. But I think this is a very difficult choice. And still, maybe still it's difficult. So this position isn't really easy as it looks like. Take the gold and promote the pawn. I can drop the rook here, so I can protect with the rook once. So not so simple yet. And it's clearly, surely more difficult than it looks like. Ah, could be finished again. Promotion. I take with the pawn. Ah, no, no, not even finished. Maybe this order was very bad. Mm, the pawn drop was a correct move. When the pawn was promoted, the pawn drop was a correct move. No, no, I wanted to drop the pawn again here, but I didn't see this simple knight drop, so this position is too bad. Knight drop here or something, but not so clear yet. It's also difficult for the opponent to win from here. If I drop the pawn instead of taking this pawn, maybe I was better. This pawn drop is very strong. Yeah, I understand what he wants to do, but not really easy. If he takes the gold, I can take with the king or the gold. Both could work. A little difficult choice. And he will drop a gold here. The opponent is playing very correctly. I don't think he's just a Yodan player. Seems like 6 down or some closer to that. Bishop drop. Knight drop. Just the simple attack, but I can't find any defense. drop and it's over. Yeah, he played very well. A good game. Not a Yodan strengths. So I will finish my live stream today. Hmm. Maybe it was slow to push twice this move. Yeah, he was really, really good. He was strong from here. So my main mistake was here. I should have dropped a pawn here, and it was a close game. I think. Yeah, I didn't see this before I took this pawn, and taking with the king or just escaping is very difficult. Mm, it continues and still not so clear, but clearly better than the actual game. In this case, if I took this pawn, it's slightly better, but still complicated. I'm not sure if I'm winning. Mm, mm. Yeah, after this, I didn't have chance, but still, he played very correctly. The order was correct, and every move was the move I was afraid. So, very strong player. Good. So today I lost many games, maybe 4 games or something like that. Mm. But all games I lost was a good game, not my simple mistake. So the opponent was strong. Okay, so I don't know my next schedule. I can't play regularly. I'm very busy recently, so but I will play time to time. And one last thing to tell you. Please just tell this Intercity Shogi Cup to anyone who might be interested. This is a good tournament, and well, we prepared a good prize for this tournament. The Itodani Sensei's fun. At this timing, it's very difficult to get this because it's a direct assigned fun, so not a printed one. Mm. He's now the challenger of the Meijin Sen, so he's really busy, but mm, he's my senior at my university as well. So I asked him, and he kindly signed in fun. Yeah. So thank you. Mm, yeah. So at least once a week, I plan to play if I can. Mm, okay. So this is all for today. Maybe it's better to do just 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, and it will be better the quality of the games. But still, mm, okay. So thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.